Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Kevin Gilmore with the National Weather Service. We're going to get started here in just a quick moment. I'm just going to test my volume. Just take one quick moment. All right, looks like we are good to go here. We're going to go ahead and get started. Looks like we're getting some good feedback. People say they can hear me, which is fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and start here. Just make sure that we have everything set up and ready to go. Let's see. All right. Okay. All right, good evening, everyone. This is Kevin Gilmore here with the National Weather Service New Orleans Baton Rouge office located in Slidell, Louisiana. We're going to get started here with the latest on Tropical Storm Zeta. They keep coming. I didn't expect to be doing one around this time, but looks like they just, I feel I'm seeing everyone's comments right now. It's just, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. But we're just going to kind of take this one step at a time here. We're going to go over what we know and what we're expected to see here coming up here in the next few days with Tropical Storm Zeta. First, let's go ahead and show you what the storm is actually looking like on satellite presentation and where it's currently located right now. The storm is located over kind of the northwest Caribbean, just north of Honduras. Now, we notice the storm has a little bit of asymmetry with it, a little bit of shear, and the convection is a little bit lopsided to the south, with the center a little bit to the north. However, we've been seeing some convective blowups wanting to kind of relocate itself around the center, which is a good indication that the storm will start to strengthen with time, which is what we're expecting here in the next day or two as it continues up to the northwest. Now, the current motion right now is actually stationary. It's really not moving much, so it's actually not moving at all. So we're going to see that forward speed pick up with time here, and we're going to kind of switch over here to this is the southern United States, along with the Gulf of Mexico. You see in the center, about right where my mouse is blinking here, that's the Gulf of Mexico, and then about right there is going to be where New Orleans is to give you perspective of where the storm is down here on the bottom part of your screen. Still a good ways away from our area. So it's still, like I say, the storm's going to continue, pick up a little bit forward speed and strengthen, and then impact parts of the Yucatan. Possibly even strengthen to a hurricane before making landfall in the Yucatan, and then emerge into the Gulf on Tuesday. And when it does from there, we'll see a very strong storm system out in the west. It includes a strong cold front diving south, is going to kind of help in a way and kind of kick it out of here. When it does, it's going to kind of drag it up to the north and then kind of merge into the front and move off to the northeast. But we'll talk about each one of those individually here in just a quick moment. First, just as I was just mentioning, this is the latest from the National Hurricane Center as of 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time of Zeta. Winds have not changed since the 4 o'clock Central Daylight Time update of winds at 50 miles per hour. And like I said, movement is stationary. We noticed, too, that there are some hurricane warnings up in effect for the Yucatan and that'd be tropical storm warnings for Cuba. We'll show you that one here in just a second. No formal warnings for the northern Gulf Coast yet, but we'll talk about that too coming up. But you see with the eventual track, what we're talking about is the storm will strengthen to a hurricane before impacting Yucatan and then come into the Gulf on Tuesday, turning more towards the north-northwest to eventual north turn early Wednesday, and then from there possibly impacting. You see how wide the cone is, going from everywhere from around Vermilion Bay to possibly as far as maybe Pensacola, Florida. All is within that cone. And so anybody in that region, that if I mention, if you live anywhere along there, along the coast, you need to really stay vigilant here. Now, there could be some changes and adjustments. Boy, we've seen plenty of them this year. There's been a lot of changes and adjustments with the track. But be aware that that could possibly happen. We could see some changes. But for right now, this is what we're looking at. This is going to be potential impacts to southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi beginning around early Wednesday, lasting through Wednesday and possibly into Wednesday night. So Wednesday's going to be the big day here that we really need to focus a lot here. So let's see here. We're going to move on to the next slide here. This is what I was just talking about with the warnings that are up in effect, just to show you that there are no warnings in effect or watches across the northern Gulf Coast. Should the forecast track remain on track, basically, no pun intended, then there will probably be watches in effect at some point. If they will It'll probably be early tomorrow morning, and they will be watches to start with, as we're getting it within that window of opportunity, or that window of expectation for high winds and impacts with tropical storms. So we'll be watching that. Should they come up, we'll be the first to tell you. We'll post the images and we'll show you, and we'll do some more Facebook Lives here, and we'll kind of keep you have a heads up about that. So here's also another map. This is the earliest reasonable arrival time of tropical storm force winds. What we like to tell people is when you need to get your preparations done before this time. So for the earliest reasonable time, we're talking this is late Tuesday getting to early Wednesday. With some high probabilities. You see the high probabilities are confined mostly near the storm center track, which means just more of a chance of seeing those sustained tropical storm force winds of 39 miles per hour or greater. And then we also show the most likely arrival time of the tropical storm force winds. This is when you have to have preparations done and ready. This is early Wednesday. So between these two graphics, what we're now advertising for anyone in that cone in southeast Louisiana, southern Mississippi, and even heading east to our friends in coastal Alabama and parts of the Florida Panhandle, is to have your preparations done and a plan in place before late Tuesday and early Wednesday. So that gives you a couple days in advance here. So we actually have some pretty nice weather ahead, just like the past storms that we've seen impact the area. Usually we get some pretty nice weather days right before these storms hit that gives you time to do the preparations that you need to do. And this is what I was just talking about. This is our 7-day forecast for Baton Rouge to the top left and New Orleans on the bottom right. What I was just talking about is Monday is actually going to be very similar to today. It'll be a great day to just kind of make sure that you have everything good. You got batteries, flashlights, just everything that you normally will put together in your kit. Just make sure that you have it accessible and ready to go if you're in that cone. Again, the current forecast is not for the storm to be a hurricane when it makes landfall, but that could still be impacts. We've had historically tropical storms that brought a lot of impacts to our area. So really, we're not going to see conditions start to really deteriorate. And basically, that's going to be more towards late Tuesday into Wednesday. But even going into Tuesday, we're going to start to see some isolated showers rotating kind of around the cyclonic rotation of the storm when it's in the Gulf. So these will be mostly east to west moving showers that'll be around. We got around a 50% chance or so of showers on Tuesday. Still generally a nice day, but it's not going to be until Wednesday. As you see for both Baton Rouge and New Orleans, windy showers and storms, good bet all day long. Again, depending on the eventual track. And then even going beyond that, we're talking Thursday through next weekend. What the system that kicks it out, this cold front does pass through here eventually, and we get a lot cooler air filtering in, which means maybe late week into next weekend, once we can get Zeta out of here, maybe we can look at some improving conditions. So I like to show this one. This is one that we posted earlier today on our Twitter. This is a very great graphic to show that it doesn't really take long to have to throw hurricane preparations in place here, to create a family plan, to put together a kit, just kind of walk around your house, make sure everything, you have an inventory, make sure things are kind of tied up, and then find out if you're in an evacuation zone and review your evacuation plan. That's why we call this a 1-hour hurricane prep activity. This is actually pretty cool to show you that it doesn't take a lot of time, a lot of effort, or anything like that to make sure that you have a good plan in place should this storm continue its path and impact your area. Something to keep in mind here. And also, I thought this was pretty cool. This is some Hurricane Season 2020 climatology and did you know about where we stand here. I know we've had a lot of people talking about, wow, is this the most active hurricane season yet? Where do we stand right now? Well, for right now, as of Zeta being named, we're now at 27 named storms. In 2005, we had a total of 28 named storms. So we're one behind that one, although we are at the same name that we reached in 2005 because they did add one subtropical storm during the postseason analysis of 2005. So we would have to reach the next named storm after Zeta for us to actually tie the record and then go one more beyond that to beat the record. So currently at 27 named storms, but really, in all honesty, you see here the the comparison between the 2005 and 2020 hurricane season. Look how many days before we've seen these storms form before it did in 2005. We've been shattering records for the number of storms developing at this point in the season. That just goes to show we've had a lot of storms. This has been a very long duration season. It was forecast to be so with La Nina conditions. It's just really just unfortunately the northern Gulf Coast has really been in the crosshairs a lot lately. And it still seems to keep going, basically. And hopefully we'll see an end soon to this, but again, we're just going to have to take this a step at a time, analyze this basically how it comes, and we'll definitely kind of keep you posted on any additional updates. But this is our first Facebook Live for the storm. Expect several more as we get a little bit closer towards the storm coming into the Gulf. and especially as it potentially makes impacts around here on Wednesday. But the main takeaway here is that the day is going to be Wednesday that we're going to see deteriorating conditions. Be aware there could be changes with the track, as we know. There could be changes with the strength, as we know. So when those changes occur, we'll be the first to let you know right here on from National Weather Service New Orleans webpage. We're on Facebook and Twitter as well. We'll be doing, like I said, a lot more of these coming up here in the upcoming future. We'll be keeping a very close eye on the storm. Like I said, really wanted to show that 7-day planner because, all good things, there's light at the end of the tunnel, even with a crazy hurricane season like this. And I'm here to tell you it's a pretty crazy hurricane season. But once we get the system out of here, it's really going to look like we're going to see some improving conditions. So let's look forward to that. But for now, focus on the storm. If you're in that cone, make sure you have preparations in place by late Tuesday or early Wednesday. So we'll end it there, and we hope everyone has a great rest of the day and a great week ahead.